Okay, StarCrafters, I'm back with Game 2. Yeah, it's been a while since I did Game 1. Well, it's been a whole day. Um, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I have my suspicions about who wins. And I've been reliably informed by one of the players that we're going to see nukes. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll apologise in advance for the quality of this particular cast. Blame it on Joe. It was his idea that we go to the pub straight after work, that was some time ago, so I'm not entirely as sober as I might otherwise be. So observing could go astray in this particular game. Right, we have in the bottom, in blue, it's the Protoss Resonant. Up top we have Taurus Minis, the Terran in the red. Taurus just building the one supply depot this time, so that's good to see. Meanwhile, that other guy, he's building a probe, so everything normal. While they're doing normal stuff, let's have a peek at this map. So it's an unusual map. It has large, it has large open areas. Look how wide this ramp is. That's a world of wideness. Very easy to put attacks in there. But it also has these unusual little narrow chokes. It has this raised area above the third stroke fourth, fourth I guess, where it's very easy to drop units to siege up this area. And it's not particularly far from the exit of one player's base to the entrance to the other. So it's not a bad map for a rush, but at the same time it does have this space out the back for a very easily defended natural. In addition to that, the third is very easily defended as well. So yeah, it's a very flexible map. Let's see. Both players just absolutely normal right now, except for this. Taurus has, after being stung in the last game by an oracle, decided to build a turret. Now, I have no beef with building a turret in your mineral line. It's a standard tactic. It's a very normal tactic. My only point about that would be it's very early. The oracle cannot get here for another 2 minutes. So yes, do build a turret, but don't feel the need to rush it as the first thing you do. To build a turret, you do need one of these in engineering bay. So the engineering bay costs, the turret costs, and really you want to be spending your money elsewhere that early in the game. You want to use that money to get your expand done sooner, or to get additional units out. If as an alternative to the turret, you can certainly just build a couple of racks and just continuously pump marines out of them as you tech up. By the time any oracle would arrive, you'd easily have enough marines in your mineral line to see that off. You can leave the marines in the mineral line. They don't get in the way of workers. Workers who are mining can kind of walk underneath other units. You can actually see that happen here. This worker is just standing doing nothing, and the other workers are walking underneath it. They can only do that when they're mining, though. And the reason I draw your attention to that point is because it can be quite a sneaky way to get workers in and out. So for example, if a ramp is being blocked by units and you want to get a worker in to scout, if you right click the worker onto the mineral patch, it will walk underneath those units. That doesn't mean that it can't be hit while it's doing so, it can, but normally if it's something like a single zealot, a worker will get past that without dying. So anyway, Taurus Minis, just very straight up build. He's got a tech lab, he's got a racks, he's building some marines, he's turning this into an orbital command rather than a planetary fortress like we've seen in previous games. All very, very normal stuff. Over in the Protoss base, this is looking like a very polished build indeed. It's all looking very normal, very slick. Needs to get this warp gate researching. Warp gate is absolutely sort of the first upgrade that a Protoss will generally do. Scan going down to have a look at what his opponent's doing, and what Taurus sees is that he's got this small handful of units. Ooh, did he see the Stargate? He didn't, so the Stargate just out of range, so he hasn't actually seen this quite important tech structure. That's where the oracle will come out of, if indeed it is an oracle that we're going to see. over in Taurus's base, he's building ghosts. That's a queue of ghosts, in fact, and somewhere he is also researching cloak. So I can't help but think that Taurus is about to go nuke crazy. Ghosts with or without nukes are very, very good units when you're playing against Protoss. One of the things that Ghosts does, if you look down in the bottom right here, this EMP, you can kind of see when I hover the mouse over at the splash radius of an EMP. EMP, one of the effects it has is to remove shields. Protoss units are particularly tough. If I click on this Stalker, you can see down at the bottom it has 80 health. It also has 80 shields, so half of its hit points are shield. EMP rounds simply remove the shields entirely from Protoss units. Now, not all units are even, so Zealots are quite tough units, even without their shield. The other effect that an EMP does is that it removes the energy from units. So things like sentries, if this sentry is hit with an EMP, it not only loses its shield, it loses all of its energy, as would the mothership core. And EMP also reveals cloaked units. Oh my goodness, how did I miss that? Oh look, he's in with an Oracle. He's flying about, he's going to kill some stuff. Run, quite no. Got zapped, man. So that turret has worked out beautifully, and you can't help but imagine that Taurus right now is feeling quite smug about himself. So yeah, I was talking about EMPs. An EMP on an Oracle will remove its ability to shoot, because an Oracle doesn't actually intrinsically have a weapon. The Oracle instead uses one of its spells to produce a pulsar beam. So yeah, a Ghost EMP on an Oracle will instantly prevent it from shooting. You notice that Taurus has also built an Observer. An Observer is a fantastic unit. Where is his robo? There it is. The Observer here is cloaked, so can't be seen by enemies without detection. By the way, a turret is a detector, so fly that Observer over here, the turret will shoot it. Fly the Observer over here though, and your enemy probably won't see it, and it can do fantastic scouting for you. Okay, let's get this game on. Another Oracle perhaps going to move in. This area protected by a turret as well, so not really sure that it's going to get very much done. In general, because Protoss units do have that shield, it is possible with good control to fly an Oracle in, kill a worker or two, and only take damage to the shields, and fly out without taking any hull damage. The shields regenerate themselves over time, so you can just leave that Oracle parked somewhere and cunningly fly in, pick off a worker or two, and fly out again. Let's see how well he does here though. You do not want to stay anywhere near that turret. We'll see how quickly that does damage to the Oracle. So we need to, no, you need to leave that. Yeah, so those turrets from Taurus doing very, very well indeed. I haven't even looked at the army tab yet. There it is, look. Yep, good. And that one. And that one. Yeah, I think there's other tabs that I can do, but oh, no. But I don't know what they are. Oh, good God. Oh, what have I done? I've done something. Oh, no! I've returned it to the start of the game. I didn't want to do that. So it turns out don't press Control E when you're watching a replay. That isn't a good thing. Another little top tip there for you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's other things I can press. I just don't know what they are. I've got this list of stuff that I can look at on this. Oh, here we go. Look, Control C, Control V, Control N. Ooh, NEM panel. Look at that! Isn't that pretty? Alright, we're keeping that. What else? Army supply units killed, APM, BPM. Yeah, very nice. So, APM, I've forgotten what it is now. Forgotten what the button was. APM, Control C. APM tells me basically how quickly these players are working. So APM stands for actions per minute. It's how many things they're clicking on, how many button presses, etc. So it's basically the number of commands that you issue per minute, and it's a it's a rolling thing. This isn't an average. Up here I can get the average APM of the players, which is probably a more accurate guide. Your APM can spike if you rapidly press a bunch of buttons in a second, but your average is probably a more reasonable measure. Some players have a really high APM and it doesn't seem to benefit them. Other players have a relatively low APM and it doesn't seem to disadvantage them. Pros have ridiculous APMs. Pro players of this will average sort of 300-400 over the course of a game and will peak up to about 600 APM. EPM is effective actions per minute, and I think I can bring that up as well, and that shows you what these players are up to or something. Anyway, look, stuff's dying and I haven't even mentioned that. Colossus, beautiful. So look at this, these players are really developing. We've got, don't know about still building oracles, quit that. Oracles are great, you know, as a first unit to get in and get a bit of damage done. You know that he's got turrets, you know that you're not really going to achieve anything with that oracle, so don't bother building anymore. Colossus, on the other hand, fantastic unit against marines. The Colossus has a fairly good range, but you can upgrade the range even further with this upgrade, the extended thermal lens. Gives Colossus range that's roughly the length of a screen. And they also do splash damage. So if you look, the damage is 12, but actually it's a double attack, so 24 damage is what it deals out, and it's an area, it's a sort of AoE damage. So if you're facing large numbers of marines, if you have 3 Colossus, they one-shot the front row of marines, and that's pretty brutal. So they can plow through a large number of marines very quickly indeed. These ghosts are good against Colossus because they can EMP them, shift the shields, which straight away worries that Colossus. If I click on him, you can see that that's 150 off his hit points in a single shot. The other thing that's good against them is Vikings. Vikings are an air unit built from the starport, and they are not particularly good against anything apart from Colossus, to be honest, but they do have a very, very long range. The Colossus is so tall that it is considered to be both an air unit and a ground unit. So Vikings only shoot air when they're flying, but since the Colossus is extremely tall, Vikings can shoot Colossus very far away, and Colossus only attack ground, so they can't shoot the Vikings. What's happening here? What is this? This is the Oracle trying to get something done. I don't think he's going to achieve much. He gets 1 kill. Might could arguably get a part to medevac there just to heal workers. But yeah, certainly time to stop building oracles. As a general rule, you know, as a strat, you don't tend to build more than 1 oracle. I don't like to see this. I think I've talked about this before. If you want to build Void Rays, that's absolutely fine. But look, Void Rays are not cheap items. A Void Ray costs 250, 150. A Stargate, the building that builds them, only costs 150, 100. So, you know, this queue could be 2 more Stargates, in which case you're building Void Rays 3 times as quickly. So, yeah, no need really to have them queued up like that. Speaking of the cost of things, both players actually pulling quite a substantial amount of money. Now, sorry, just having a sip of my beer. Not that I need more beer, but I want it. So look, this ghost is sneaking past. 2 nukes! 2 nukes, Taurus! Oh, Taurus! Look at... And we even saw the nuke lift off. Okay, so he has a multitude of nukes ready to launch. That one isn't going to get anything done. This army very sensibly moving well clear. So only maybe, I don't know, not caught a worker or 2 there. Nukes against armies are rarely effective because players typically have the good sense to move them, but it does no harm to just drop a nuke here, because if you don't pull these workers, they will all die. And if you do pull them, well, that's 20 seconds in which your workers aren't actually mining anything, so you're a best on. Given that Taurus has several nukes available to him, I'd really like to see him you know, attempting to lay some nukes on mineral lines, possibly attempting to lay some nukes in this area. Nukes. Oh, hello. Shoot back, dude, shoot back. These stalkers are on the move command and aren't actually shooting anything. Look at them. Oh, no, they are. A nuke. A nuke, really? Surely that's not going to land. It is. Oh, I don't think Resonant has seen the nuke. Here it comes, Resonant. Oh, he must have killed the ghost. Oh, okay. Yeah, these widow mines are going to hurt them now, because they are going to reset very soon. So Colossus are great. You can see how much damage they pump out and what sort of range they have. He's got to be careful, because this widow mine is about to fire, and it will take out that Colossus if he's not. Oh, hang on, did it fire? Oh, it must have fired at the other Colossus. That's disappointing. Widow mines are tricky things. You can target widow mines, and that's careless. You can target with a widow mine. And the way to do it is, as its timer counts down, you have to literally constantly just click the unit that you want it to shoot at. This is quite hard work this evening. I can only apologise for the low quality of the commentary tonight. As I mentioned, blame Joe. It is his fault. Okay, so let's check the income tab. Let's see how people are doing. Yeah. Resonant quite far ahead in income. Well, Taurus could catch up with that. Look, this orbital command is absolutely full on energy, as is this one. So even though he doesn't have that many workers here, those two orbitals could drop 3 or 4 mules each on this, and he would instantly have the most ridiculous income that he could spend. And actually, you know, he's relatively low on money, has a few hundred in the bank still. What's going on here? Is Void Ray taking fire from this widow mine, presumably. Yeah, so what Resonant needs to do is get some observer. Well, it does have an observer. Needs to use an observer to reveal that widow mine so that he can clean that up. Interesting choice of warp-in point. You can, as a Protoss, once you turn these into warp gates, as he has done in his men, you can warp in units at any location where there is a pylon. But it's worth noting that warping in next to a pylon on its own is relatively slow. Warping in next to a pylon that powers a gateway is much quicker, less than half the time, I think. So if you're, you know, laying down a forward pylon as a place to reinforce from, it's worth just building a gateway next to it, so that you can reinforce all the quicker. This seems like an interesting choice of position for such a pylon, because it's not really closer to your enemy than your base is, but that's okay. So this observer just going to go forward and have a look. It seems to me Resonant is lining up for an attack. He has a massive supply advantage, so his army is significantly healthier, but battle cruisers will fare very well against the likes of Colossus, less well against Void Rays. Void Rays have this prismatic alignment that allows them to do extra damage against armored units. So in fact they'll kill stuff like this. They'll kill battle cruisers very quickly. I think this could end very soon. Unless that hit manages to land. How long? Oh my gosh. So not perfectly on target, but certainly did more than enough damage to make a huge amount of difference there. And all of a sudden, Resonant, you have lost a huge amount of stuff. If I nip up into the top left corner here and go to units lost, yeah, I'll just do it twice. You can actually see the investment that each player has lost, so that can be more telling than the units, because units is simply a count, and obviously you know, losing a marine is not the same thing as losing, say, a battlecruiser or a Colossus, but cost wise you can see that Resonant has lost 17,000 resources worth. That's a sum of mineral and gas. Meanwhile Taurus has lost half of that, so a very cost efficient engagement there, largely because of that fantastic nuke, which has put Taurus right back into this game. Yeah, So Resonant is, however, beginning to ramp up that army supply again, and the reason he's able to do that is largely because of this mineral advantage that he has. Taurus getting this 4th down now, so hopefully we'll see that change. But he does need to transfer a lot of these workers. Look, 16 out of 6, so it needs 6 workers to mine these 3 patches, 2 per patch, but he has 16. Meanwhile, over here, he has room for more workers. So, you know, as your mineral patches dry up, do transfer the workers from one base to the next. Okay, still warping in from this magic ballon. Reasonable number of stalkers. No upgrades though, Resonant. No upgrades. Upgrades aren't typically a thing you need to rush to, but certainly in a 20-minute game, you know, I would normally hope that by 20 minutes I'm at least 2-2 as Protoss. Oh no, is he going to land another nuke? Is he? Oh, this ghost isn't cloaked, so I dare say he is actually going to get killed before this nuke lands. What? Resonant? Kill the... Yes, that's quite stingy. The ghost isn't even cloaked, dude. Shit, the ghost, man! Yeah, okay. Once again, a mighty nuke keeps Taurus in this game. But Resonant, he's not taking his foot off the loud pedal. He is continuing to produce units. He still has this ridiculous queue of void rays. But look, you've got a forge. Why did you build a forge to not do upgrades? Get some upgrades going. What's going on here? Yep, weird. So this side core upgrades the air units, and given that he has void rays, those are worth doing. He is chronoing the side core, but not actually building anything from it, so I'm not sure what that's about. Probably just a misclick. Right, good. Where are we at? Taurus, why are you building a Reaper? What even is that about? Reapers have no place in the game after about 5 minutes. But anyway, Taurus, get these workers mining stuff. That your idle worker count is a little bit disturbing. You know, idle workers are... Look, oh god, no. Look at them. You know, your income would instantly triple if you just got those workers doing what they're supposed to be doing. That aside, upgrade-wise, Taurus, I believe, has got some upgrades on these Marines. Yeah, they're 2-2. However, he has not yet completed the most important of all the upgrades for Marines. That would be Stim nor Combat Shield. Look at that. Gains 10 life onto a Marine. These Marines have a measly 45. 10 makes a big difference to that. You know, somewhere between 20-25% more life. Yeah, so those are crucial upgrades that Taurus really needs to get sorted. He knows that his opponent has a Colossus-centric build, so actually, you know, while Marines as a general purpose unit are the best general purpose unit in the game, it's these fellas, Marauders, that he needs to get into the mix. I'm not saying you should have all Marauders, you shouldn't. You need to also be able to kill these Stalkers and these Void Rays. Marines do a good job of that. Marauders will fare well against the Stalkers, but they don't shoot up. The reason you need Marauders against Colossus comes back to what I said about Colossus. The damage they do to the front line of Marines is enough to kill the front line of Marines. It will not kill these Marauders, however. Look at these guys, 125 health, and they are armoured. So that armour, you know, just makes a huge difference. Marauders can stand and take hits in the face from Colossus and not die. Marines, on the other hand, cannot. So needs to definitely increase the Marauder count in his army. Definitely needs to get everything in there. Needs to have Stim as well, so that he can press and spin button at this stage and just one by one focusing down his Void Rays and Colossus to get rid of them. Then you can worry about the Stalkers. Please have cloak these banshees, they don't. unfortunately going to die. Banshees are the unit that can cloak, but cloak for Banshees must be researched first, and that gets researched here in a tech lab attached to a Stargate. Where is the nuke? Where is it? Oh, Ghost has died already, so that nuke certainly isn't coming around. Oh, I fear this could be the end for Taurus. Yeah. He managed to get those money nukes earlier in the game to keep him in this game, but I don't think such a nuke is going to serve him long. He does have a nuke on one of those Ghost Academies, but I don't believe he has a nuke. So I think this one's over. It's been, it's been an alright game. Yeah, they're going to move. You're just going to kill your own buildings there, Taurus. Boom. Yeah, I think this one is over. I don't think there's any way that Taurus can come back here. Oh yeah, there's the little ghosty. Yeah. I'm just going to attack this with workers. Look. Yeah. No, it's just going to... They're off on holiday or something. I don't know. Yeah, so this is certainly, we've kind of past the GG moment really. These void rays on their own could mop up everything without too much bother. Colossus don't kill buildings particularly effectively. They don't get any sort of bonus damage against armor and stuff. But you can see actually just how effective planetary fortresses are as they take down two of these Colossus. Would have been better having up that with the void rays and planetary fortress can't shoot up. GG, well played, there it is. Oh, no, it's Resonant saying that. Yeah, hint. Yeah, void rays with the prismatic alignment do bonus damage to armor and stuff. So things like planetary fortresses, they will kill pretty quick. And indeed will. But any kind. So, bit of a one-sided game. All things considered. Yeah, Resonant just showing that he's got some builds. He's doing a pretty good job on his macro game, by which I mean how well he built an economy, and more importantly in terms of economy and units. So even when he had a lead, never took his finger off the loud pedal, continued to just kind of macro up and build more army, continued to expand on the map, and that's how you play StarCraft really. So a job well done. Those nukes were fun, but didn't quite manage to stop the rot. Yeah, I think I would have liked to see some nukes drop on mineral lines and such to disrupt the economy. Resonant does like to stick 10 workers in the one simulator. But yeah, this game is over. So I hope you enjoyed it. I think I might just go ahead and have a look at one more game this evening. I'll post that for you. GG, well played.